Good morning. This is Lora O'Brien of the Irish Pagan School, and I'm out on my morning walk today and I'm having thoughts about An Seachrán Sidhe, which means getting like fairy led or straying. You'd often hear tell of it talking about sorry, I'm a little out of breath. Talking about stepping on a stray sod, and it's a really common part of Irish folklore where people who are usually making their way home at night time from a wake or from a pub or from a visit, and they'd be passing between two towns or villages in the wild parts in between. And what happens is very familiar territory. This could be a way that they've walked hundreds of times, thousands even in some cases, their whole lives. And all of a sudden, sometimes they get a bit distracted, like they'll have to tie a shoelace, or they'll have to, something will they'll hear a noise or something will happen, and they'll get distracted and kind of get a bit turned around. And by the time they kind of step up and are ready to set out again, the very familiar territory looks very differently. So if they're in a field, like that's usually like an agricultural, like a tilled field, very domesticated if you like, suddenly they're in a wild woods, or they'll get like massive bodies of water in front of them, or like unfamiliar mountains or hills where there really shouldn't be any there. And this is such a common part of An Creideamh Sí, the fairy faith in Ireland. I was thinking about it this morning. My way is very familiar as I'm walking around, and I think a lot of us now don't wander out in the wild ways as much anymore, definitely, because we're getting taxis and cars and buses and all that. But obviously walking and cycling, and even donkey and cart or whatever, would have been much more common back in the day. So I don't think that these stray sods have gone anywhere. I think that if Irish people, if we had an EMP or something and we lost all our cars and transport, and Irish people were suddenly walking a lot more like we used to, coming home from fairs or festivals or visits to neighbours or relatives or whatever, that we would very much start picking up these mishaps again, because the landscape hasn't actually changed and the Sidhe haven't changed. So here's me at the Irish Pagan School doing my bit to keep these traditions alive, because a lot of our Creideamh Sí, a lot of our fairy faith is actually warning and teaching and making sure that people stay safe. So I hope that you do stay safe if you're wandering in the wilderness. And I do have a whole book, The Fairy Faith in Ireland, if you want to check that out. It's available online currently, and you can definitely look that up and get a lot more of folklore and fairy faith like this. So there's loads of classes on the Irish Pagan School as well if you want to take them. So irishpaganschool.com. Slán go fóill. See you in the next video.